He flogged me mercilessly. Like a child, I threatened to live with my child, and he threatened to sue me to court. 3 years in marriage with a child of 6 months. While I was dating my husband, he once slapped me, but he said it was a reflex action. So I overlooked it. I wish I knew. I would have run for my life. 1 year down in marriage, I became pregnant with my first child, my supposed first child. My husband beat me until I lost the child. When I had a miscarriage, he took me to the hospital. When I came back, he knelt down, crying and apologizing. He promised me that he would never raise his hands on me again. He pleaded and begged that I shouldn't tell my family, I shouldn't tell anybody, that it wasn't going to repeat itself again. I believed him. I mourned my child and moved on. 6 months later, I got pregnant again. This time, I was scared of telling him because of my experience the last time. So I didn't tell him until I was 4 months gone. Don't judge me. I was scared. He noticed by himself and asked me. I told him I was pregnant. He beat me again for keeping it away from him. To him, I kept it away from him. And then he accused me of infidelity, beat me till I fell on the floor. Sorry, they took the lights. I had to change position. He apologized the second time. He promised me that it wasn't going to happen again. He told me that his village people were manipulating him. He told me that the enemies were after our marriage. The worst thing that can happen to a woman is getting married to a manipulative husband. I almost lost my child. The second pregnancy. Is my husband on a mission to destroy me? That was just the question I was asking myself at that point. But what could I do? Nothing. Once again, he took me to the hospital by himself and told the doctor I fell down the stairs. We got home. He knelt down, begging and explaining to me that it was the devil once again, the devil's handwork. I threatened to get my family involved. I threatened to report to my mother. I threatened to tell my sister. He begged. He knelt down again and cried, begging that it will never happen again. He's my husband. Once again, I tried to move on. I tried to move on this time, but it was so difficult. It was so difficult I got into depression. It was so difficult to move on. I had sleepless nights because I was scared of sleeping on the same bed with someone that was on a mission to destroy my life. And for the second time, I lost my second child. My story began. I decided to get my family involved. My husband threatened me that if I get my family involved, he will divorce me. And of course, this is Africa. This is Nigeria, where a divorce story is sent out and the woman is being blamed. He threatened to leave me. He threatened to divorce me. And I asked myself, what do I stand to gain if I eventually divorce this man? The society, my friends, my family, will they listen to me? How do I convince them that this man has been abusing me for 2 years now? How do I explain it when I've never mentioned it to anybody? Of course, he told me not to, and I listened. And once again, I swallowed my pain. I swallowed my pain, even though it was eating me up. I was losing my mind. Last year, I took in again. This time around, I told my husband I was pregnant. This time around, he acted nice. He never for once abused me. Throughout my pregnancy journey, he was there for me 100%. When I gave birth, the devil struck again. 3 days after I came back from the hospital, I called my husband to tell him that my mom was coming for the normal tradition of Mugwo. My husband said that my mother should stay in her husband's house. My husband said his own mother will come for my Omugwo. We dragged it. How do I tell my mother that something she has been expecting, something she has been preparing for, is not approved by my husband? How? Female child in Igbo land, my mom is supposed to come for my Omugwo, but my husband refused. And I swore with my life to drag it to the end of it. Enough of the oppression. We dragged, and it got to a point where he beats me. Once again, he apologized. But this time, I threatened to leave. I threatened to live with my child. And he threatened to sue me to court. He insisted his mom was going to come. Still threatened me that whenever his mom comes, he should make sure I don't tell his mother anything about our marriage. That marriage is supposed to be private. That marriage is supposed to be between two people and not outside that. And that we're not supposed to have a third party in our marriage. I called my mom. I told her that my husband said he doesn't want anybody for the Omugwo. My mom was so surprised. She was mad at the whole situation. She insisted that she was coming. On this fateful day, my mom came to my house unannounced. Of course, I knew about it. I couldn't tell him. I just couldn't tell him because I didn't want to receive another beating. My mom came. To my greatest surprise, my husband welcomed her with smiles on his face. What a man. My mom was surprised that she felt like I was the one that didn't want her in my house. I tried to explain to her. Of course, I couldn't tell her what I've been passing through. I tried to explain to her, but no way. So that passed. Throughout my mom's stay, my husband was so sweet. He acted so loving. He acted like, Mom, we've been expecting you. And I was like, what? After 2 months, my mom left and his own mom came. While his mom was around, he acted the same way. Well, his mom left and the trouble began. He wakes me up with beating almost every day. At this time, he wasn't apologizing. He wasn't. He did it like it was his right. Just a few days ago, we had a misunderstanding and he used weapons for the first time. For the first time, he used his belt on me. He flogged me like a child in front of my 6-month-old. He flogged me mercilessly, like a child. At this point, I'm confused on what to do. Should I get my family involved? Should I go for a divorce? What will the society say? What will people say? How will they see me? That I'm coming from a failed marriage? How will people feel about my story? Will they even give me a listening ear to explain how I feel? Will they give me a listening ear to know that all this wasn't my fault? Or will they point at me like that woman with a failed marriage, how will my daughter grow up? Is she going to grow up knowing that she's from a broken home? Is that what I want for my daughter? Should I swallow it once again and cover up his image like my husband? In Africa, how difficult, what a difficult decision for me. What about my parents' name? What about my family background? How do I let everybody down? Are they going to see me as a disappointment? Are they going to see me as a failure in the society? I have something doing, though it can't be enough to take care of our child. Should I stay in a marriage where I am constantly abused? How long? Or will he change? Do you think he will change? What do I do at this point? So guys, this is not my story. Yes, as usual, I wore her character. I wore the character of my subscriber to share her story to you all. And don't forget, this is a community. And I assured her that she's going to get a perfect advice from the comment section. So guys, please do drop your advice in the comment section for her. I simply wore her character so that you can see through me what she's passing through. When I read her story, I shed tears. I'm not in the right position to give this advice, which is why I brought it out to you guys to listen, watch, and drop your advice. She will be in the comment section reading your advice. I just had to do this for the sake of this video. So she shared her story. She doesn't want her name to be called. She still insists that her family be protected even at this stage. So she wants to hear your advice. Thank you for watching this video, and please feel free to share your stories with me. You have a problem, you have a story that you feel like putting it out there will bring the solution to you. Feel free to share it. Send me an email. This is my email. So send me an email sharing your story. You can decide to use a fake account to send the email, even if you don't want me to know who you are. And I will wear your character and portray it on my YouTube channel. And please, please refer this channel to your friends. Somebody out there might just need this. Yes, somebody out there might just need this. Please click the subscribe button if you haven't clicked. To my returning subscribers, thank you for always watching. And if you are new to this channel, I welcome you and I appreciate you. Thank you for joining this family. Thank you so much. I appreciate. And we shall only improve. Yes, we will. So that is it for today. See you in my next video. Bye.
Few minutes later.